Hello, I'm Lexi. Welcome to my channel. I am an artist based in sunny Florida, and today I'm going to share with you how I made this applique wall hanging to store my daily tarot card. I use tarot and oracle cards as tools for self-reflection. They're great for my journaling practice and often give me a new, fresh way to look at a problem or a circumstance in my life that I just need some more support in processing. Hello, it's me. I just finished editing this video and then realized I didn't actually explain why I wanted to make these wall hangings specifically. I explained that I wanted to make them and that I like tarot, but I think there's something really special about having the wall hanging directly in front of you every day in your workspace or at your altar or whatever feels good for you. Because it just encourages you to continue to consider what the card is about throughout the day. And that has been the thing I keep coming back to as I keep wanting to make these, is I just think it's a really beautiful way to engage with the cards that you pull, but also to remind you to pull cards again. So yeah, I just wanted to share that aspect of it, and now I'm going to put this into the video and hopefully you're going to watch it. We'll see. Okay, thanks. The project you're seeing in this video is one of a handful of prototypes I created in preparation for launching this as a product. And while that is not completely done yet, I am really excited to share this version and some of the other iterations in this video. As I usually start most of my processes, I've got my sketchbook, going through all the different thumbnails I've created for wall hangings and choosing the one that makes me the most curious about making and translating the image into this design style. As I mentioned, I already created one of these for my own personal practice, so here I am just measuring everything out to see what the dimensions were, make sure that I made a deep enough pocket for this prototype, and then I moved to the iPad and got everything sketched out. I had to make sure that I had the proper color felt for what I was sketching, so I'm doing that selection process as well. One of the most exciting new additions to my studio space is a projector mounted on the ceiling that points down at my work table. It allows me to project images onto the surface, cut things out in appropriate sizes, and just visualize where things go in a composition so that I can lay everything out the way that it was originally planned. For this project, I used an iron-on adhesive that essentially can turn a piece of fabric into a patch. So I used a projector to project down onto the iron-on paper and then traced out all of my individual elements so that I could iron them onto fabric and then cut them out. Once the individual shapes were ironed onto their corresponding felt, I cut them out with scissors and turned the projector back on to get everything lined up where I wanted it to be. After everything was in its right place, I then had to flip each piece over, peel off the paper backing, and give it another iron to really affix it into place. Once everything's ironed on, I move over to the machine, which is where I do the actual applique process. Applique is basically a sewing process of attaching a piece of fabric to another piece of fabric. In this case, I used a satin stitch on my machine. You could also just consider it a really tightly woven zigzag stitch to go around the perimeter of each of the elements and really get them stuck on there permanently. And I love how this looks. I love the texture it creates. I love that it makes the felt a little bit puffy in some of the areas. And this is where the project really shines for me. It totally transforms and it just never gets old. I love doing it. I have since created more and I can attest it's the best part. I then went in with my serger and finished all the edges with a rolled hem. This is also the part where I attach these 2 corner pieces that are going to hold my dowel on the back of the piece. And then another very exciting part is getting to iron my label onto the back. I just recently did my own branding and I am so proud of how these labels turned out. I just love it. Sometimes you don't think that you can do something and then it turns out you can. So that's all in the back, and then the piece is done, and here it is. I love it. I really love the colors and textures. This was my first piece where I put the dowel in the back of the piece rather than creating 2 straps to put the dowel through, and I think it worked out really well. And I have since created a couple more versions where I honed it in even more, including one where the card attaches with a magnet versus going into the pocket. And I'm so excited to be bringing this project to life. I will be having these for sale soon. When, you might ask? I don't know, but if you subscribe to my email newsletter, you will be the first to know. I hope you love it. If you're curious, please let me know any questions you might have about the process. And I just am so appreciative of your time and attention and curiosity. And thanks for being here. I hope to see you here again very, very soon.